My Life as a Teenage Von Neuman Device, Chapter 9. Jenny sighed, extremely bored. She sat impassively on her stool in the center of her mother's booth at the expo, fidgeting now and then to keep herself from drifting off into sleep mode. The whole robotics expo was just waiting out there for her to explore, but instead she had to sit there, on display for any potential investors that want a closer look at the prototype. It was a necessary evil, she knew, since it was this sort of funding that allowed her mother to build her in the first place. But she didn't enjoy being prodded and examined all afternoon like some sort of prize horse. The worst part was having people right next to you, referring to you in third person as if you weren't there, perfectly aware that they were talking to you. Really drove home the fact how many people still thought human robots as things and not people. Jenny tried not to frown at the thought, knowing that she was here to make a good impression.
Mom, can I take a break yet? I am so bored, and I really want to see how Brad and Sheldon are doing in competition. You know, and some moral support,
said Jenny, until a glass curious patron left their booth. Mrs. Wakeman cast her daughter a sympathetic look, knowing how difficult these fundraising attempts would be for her. Well, she said, I suppose I can use a lunch break soon. Why don't we close down the booth in half an hour, and when the third tier matches begin, I'll meet you at the arena until I grab something from the food court. Jenny eagerly agreed, eager for any chance to see her friends. Mood brightened. Her mother buying lunch would give her some time to wander around the expo a little, on the way to the arena as well. On the way in, she spotted a booth advertising professionally done mod work, and had very curious how she might look with a layer of chrome applied to her hair. Jenny assumed her standard pose as another curious convention-goer was greeted by her mother. Jenny tried to remain attentive as a potential investor, a young fellow with thick glasses and bright red hair, spoke at length at her mother about Jenny's various systems and functions. As usual, Jenny's mind quickly went elsewhere, mulling all over the possible alterations she could look at that modder's booth. Remembering the title of the television program on the subject, Jenny wondered if this could be counted as Pimping Brad's Ride. Jenny held up her hands to suppress a giggle. Her mother and the investor approached her, now discussing the intricacies of her flight systems.
So then, the thrusters in the robot suite. Here the rings hold the all for the same fuel source. Wasn't that deplete the fuel reserves rather quickly?
Said the man. Her mother answered in turn, having rehearsed the answers and the common questions ahead of time. Normally it would, but remember, the thrusters are not used in supporting the weight of the robot, only providing control and momentum during flight. And of course, when the reserves are naturally depleted, it's a simple matter to refuel through the fuel intake valve. Jenny gulped, not liking where this conversation was headed. The man scratched his chin, interested.
And where is the valve? Does the fuel process take long?
Her mother, ever the saleswoman, did her best to play up the ease of the process. Not at all. Why, the entire procedure takes less than 5 minutes and requires no real disassembly whatsoever. I could demonstrate if you like. Jenny tensed up with anxiety, mentally praying the offer would be turned down. Fortunately, the red-headed scientist was all too inquisitive. Mrs. Wakeman addressed Jenny in an authoritative tone. X89! Please put ready your rear intake fuel line for refueling. Jenny blushed her standard azure blue across her cheeks, meekly playing, Do I have to? Nora frowned, fetching the fuel canisters she had brought with them. Yes, X89! Right now! Jenny pouted, her hands tugging at the hem of her skirt in an attempt to preserve her modesty. Mother laughed nervously, rapidly feeling foolish for being unable to control her own robot in front of the infestor. X89, what seems to be the problem? Inquired Nora, through a forced smile. Then responded in a quiet voice.
I don't want other robots to see my stick port. It's embarrassing.
The service scientist raised a discerning eyebrow. Does the robot have difficulties understanding verbal commands? Some colleagues of mine have a marvelous new voice recognition software that may help. He offered, politely sidestepping the real issue. His subtle suggestion was not lost on Mrs. Wakeman, however. It was becoming desperate to show she remained in control of the situation. X-9, do you want me to use an override command, young lady? The sooner you comply, the sooner it'll be over and done with. Now, do as you're told and turn around. Jenny reluctantly did so, facing away from her mother and pulling out the back of her skirt, exposing her shapely bum. With one hand, she tapped a quick release button on her thong, pulling it back away from her crotch and revealing her puckered intake port, nestled between her ass cheeks. Jenny glanced down at the rest of the trade show floor, seeing a couple of robots in nearby booths and taking notice. Passing robot looked like a white and blue trash can, mounted on two head-sided legs stopped, and got there was one red eye. and made a few derogatory beats of boots, followed them with an electronic wolf whistle in Jenny's direction. Jenny's blush became a deep indigo, choosing to look down at the floor instead. Another in place to construct a fuel intake valve, asserted the scientist, attempting to mask his surprise. Well, I never was one to waste space, and I had to go somewhere after all, said Jenny's mother, approaching with a fuel canister and pressing the nozzle against her entry port. Yeah, cold! Yelled Jenny, the thrust of fuel spouts pressing his way into her. But she wouldn't give to be away from here right now, hanging out with Brad and Sheldon. You know what's funny about that last bit, guys? Have you seen Astro Boy? 3, 2, 1, activate! Shouted the announcer, declaring the start of the match. Klaxons sounded and spotlights scanned over the arena, building up the tension of the eager crowd. Amidst much fanfare, Silver Shell dropped into the ring, flexing his servos for the audience and grinning to display himself. Taking a combat stance, Silver Shell took on a serious demeanor, ready to face his opponent. The gate on the opposite side of the arena opened, spewing out a cloud of state smoke, heralding the approach of its other contender. A clunky, particular robot, no longer than an ottoman, reeled out, brandishing the pneumatic-driven hammer attached to its top, flaming decals and labeling the beast, and painted brightly on the sides, with a feeble roar of electronic rage as its battle cry charged forward. The front bumper of the robot crumbled as it slammed itself to Silver Shell's left foot. The hammer clanged uselessly against his armored shin. Silver Shell laughed, once again disappointed with his competition. Sure, he had come to the expo assuming he'd win, but at least expected a challenge. Sheldon didn't bother to better than over, merely pointing his arm at the tiny robot, rapidly extending his fist from the wrist, crushing it beyond any hope of repair. The buzzer immediately sounded him the winner. Silver Shell walked back down to the contestants' lounge. Dude, nice job! Congratulated one of the other fighters, Kenny. Robot team approached Silver Shell, the two of them exchanging a high five. Shell smiled, congratulating Kenny on his fight for his mask. When he first met Sheldon, he had hated Kenny for a principle, merely because he happened to be dating Sheldon's love of Jenny at the time. Now he got to know him, Sheldon found Kenny, or YK9 as his father called him, was actually a nice guy. Sheldon's new body at Robot Expo had provided a convenient means for starting fresh, as Kenny assumed they had never met before. Sheldon felt no need to remind Kenny of his former state as a human nerd, largely because he got the impression Kenny wanted to be friends, as they were about the only two teenage robot guys around, Kenson's extensive kinship. Beyond his previous identity might have also reminded Kenny of the role Sheldon had played breaking him up with Jenny. It was a little bit bad news for everyone involved. Want to go back out for some of the X12 boost before the next round starts? Offered Silver Shell, hopefully to come look at the best faces of his hobby. I would, Kenny, but I think my dad's want to give me another once over before the next matchups are announced. Silver Shell shrugged at that. Well, I guess it wouldn't hurt on the outside chance you and I have to fight in the next round. But other than that, are the other robots even worth the effort? Most are a little better than lawnmowers with a wedge stuck in front.
Not all of them, Kenny corrected. You see that one girl robot? She's almost as tall as I am. So one of our earlier matches. Roasted the competition. I mean, literally. Some kind of chemical fire she shoots out of her hands. She's definitely going to be a challenge for one of us. Oh, hey, there she goes now. Kenny pointed across the machine shop to the statuesque robot with a feminine build. Her high-class figure was so well defined to approach waspus. Her skin was stark white that reminded Shell of Jenny's. Her clothing followed a dark green color scheme, with black and silver trim in strategic locations. The strangest part of her appearance was a black and silver mask she wore, covering everything below her eyes, letting the air of mystique and drawing attention to her bewitching eyes. Seeing to match the green of her clothing. Holy! Breathed Shell, staring at the bikini. Yeah, tell me about it, agreed Kenny, also blatantly ogling as he passed by. Did you see that chassis? He grinned, nudging Silver Shell on his elbow.
Chassis? I was too busy checking her forward arsenal, if you know what I mean. Damn! I'd love to check out that hood!
Shell and Kenny shared a laugh, giving each other a playful punch in the arm. Many of them coughed into their fun, as Brad approached Kenny's father, Phineas Mogg, each carrying an ornate but ultimately useful radio device.
Here they are, said Brad, stating the obvious. I guess they've been waiting here in standby mode for us after the match.
Mogg frowned, annoyed at the pretense that he and the boy were forced to maintain. Each of them had broken the rules by entering a sentient robot into competition. Each of them knew the other had done so as well. But if either pilot were to admit, the other could counter-qualify for the competition, removing the biggest obstacle to the robot and prize money. so he had no choice but to continue to surround.
No time to follow, YK9. I want to give you another stress test. And give you a quick chest attack.
Mug raised the controller, tapped a half-dozen commands for show. Kenny followed his father, running pointedly eyes.
Brad follows suit, loudly saying, I'll just command my robot to walk over to an oil fender for a quick dipstick test.
Mostly Sir Sheldon did exactly the access he described. Brad tapped a few buttons and reeled the joystick. Silver Shell responded. Sticking out his arms and walking towards the oil bar, sobbing like Shuffle, slowly mocking his friend, a ridiculous pretense he was forced to endure. Once they were safe distance for Kenny and his father, Brad spoke to Sheldon.
Come on, don't act like that. Don't you think I feel silly in the pilot's booth pretending to operate you?
Silver Shell huffed, not saying anything, but opening a can of oil sipping it.
Damn, this is better than the kind Wakeman's buy,
He commented.
Don't let Mom hear you say that,
replied Jenny, walking over his side, sitting down between Brad and Silver Shell.
Hi, Jenny,
They both greeted, Brad letting the caress their cheek.
Hey, guys. Thought I'd stop in to see how you're doing with your luck. How's the operation stacking up so far?
Brad and Sheldon pulled across the room, towards a pile of broken and crushed robots. Just in time to assert Silver Shell's latest victory, being tossed on top of the heap.
Oh, said Jenny. No pun intended.
Brad shifted the conversation to Jenny, asking,
So, your mom let you take a break from being on display?
Jenny shifted uncomfortably in her seat, making a small frown.
Eventually.
Before either teenage boy could comment, the speaker system came on and began announcing the next matches.
Guess I got here just in time,
asserted Jenny.
Next in the ring will be YK9 versus Silver Cell,
came the announcer. Brandon and Sheldon grimaced. He had been hoping they wouldn't have to eliminate each other this early on. If they had been lucky, they might even make it to the finals, and have been the last combat of the day. But it wasn't Randall Dahl, and they had to deal with what they had been given.
YK9? Why does it sound familiar?
Asked Jenny.
Wait a minute. Kenny, you're fighting my old boyfriend?
Sheldon stood and crumpled the remains of the old can, tossing it trash. Jenny stood behind Sheldon and placed a hand on his shoulder, making him pause.
I thought this was supposed to be easy, Sheldon. Kenny's based on my schematics. You can't beat him. He's as fast and strong as I am.
Sheldon smirked, giving Jenny a knowing look.
What makes you so sure I can't beat you, Jenny?
Jenny didn't have a response, and once the Silver Shell walked up towards the arena entrance, giving her a wave and smile before disappearing inside.
Jenny looked to Brad, wholly shrugged. Come on, Jenny. You can join me in the pilot's booth. Definitely best seat in the house.
Jenny followed Brad inside the booth, looking out through the glass pane and see the arena below. It was really more of a stage, trussed up with obstacles and traps that were merely more for show than anything else, but they better to give the illusion of actual gladiatorial combat. Beside her, Brad was engaged in trash-talking competition.
Your robot's going down, Mug! Silver Shell's gonna wipe the floor with him!
Phineas Mugg, in his turn, meant to challenge in kind.
Ha! Silver scraps more like it. When next YK9's through with him, they'll be picking pieces of your droid for days.
Jenny wrung her hands, suddenly worried for her friend. Despite his confidence, this really was Sheldon's first taste of battle. Mere time since his recovery suddenly seemed very short to Jenny. Who knows what would happen to Sheldon if it took too many blows to the head? Transferred to his new body was still potentially shaking. Even her mother didn't completely understand how he managed to recover so quickly.
Brad, maybe this is a good idea after all. We should quit and get Sheldon out there before he gets hurt.
Ha! Laughed Mog. Even the robot girl knows it. Better run home now, boy.
Brad ignored and turned to Jenny, speaking hushed tone.
Jenny, he'll be fine. You're just being overly protective because you helped him nurse back to health. It's too late now anyway. Look, they're entering the ring.
Below the arena, Silver Shell and Kenny stepped to the view on the opposite sides of the room. The crowd's cheering fell silent when the buzzer sounded, and the fight began, while my combatants slowly circled each other, just raised and ready to strike.
What's the matter, boy? Your robot seems afraid to approach mine.
Brad grinned back,
replying, He's just sizing your robot up, looking for weakness, picking the right moment to strike.
Two robots constantly approached each other, then moving to attack, watching closely through telescopic objects. They could see their mouths moving, talking.
Stammered Brad, covering. I decided to have my robot taunt yours, Mug. He'll make your defeat all the more safer.
Phineas Mug looked down his robot, frustrated.
Clearly, my robot is choosing to display superior skills of repartee, proving YK9 is smarter and stronger.
Jenny's worry was replaced by curiosity. Clearly, this wasn't how Brad and Mug had planned. Below, Kenny and Shell was shaking hands. Then, looks like a game of rock, paper, scissors.
Look, I win! Exclaimed Mog triumphantly. Once again, your piloting skills prove no match from my superior battle senses.
Brad ignored him, watching the battle unfold below, forgetting even to tap buttons on his radio controller anymore. Silver Cell threw slow, clumsy punch at Kenny. Somehow, though, it connected with Kenny's chin, sitting and reeling. Kenny sprung back at Shell, charging at his front, stopping just in front of him, then knocking him over with a gentle tackle. Silver Cell stood up, hoisting Kenny over his head and pinning him as if it were a wad of pizza dough. Jenny smiled, suddenly understanding. They're putting on a show, faking the whole fight.
Ha! Take that, old man!
Said Brad. Silver Cell launched a quick flurry of punches on Kenny's chest. Kenny recovered with a surprise uppercut. Silver's head exploding, extending upwards, saw a giant-sized rocket-sucker robot. Jenny giggled, amused at the antics of her ex-boyfriend and her other friend. She was surprised. She had never seen the side of Sheldon's personality before. He tried telling her jokes, of course, but his nervousness always seemed to ruin them. Rushing through the joke or turning it into a burst of staring and forced laughter. Since he'd been uploaded to Silver Cell's body, Jenny has been sensing a newfound sense of confidence that had never been there before. Maybe she was just finally seeing it for the first time. Jenny smiled wide, watching Silver Cell intently. The fight seemed to be wrapping up. Kenny had Silver Cell by the cuff of his neck, winding up his right arm for a Popeye-esque finish. Silver Cell made no move to defend himself, pretending to be dazed. Then Kenny's punch landed with a loud metallic clang, like that of a gong string struck. Silver Cell's thrusters fired, sending him flying across the arena, across the opposite wall. As he dropped to the ground, his arms and legs simply extended out from his body, thin connecting cables, making it look like his entire body had been falling to pieces. Victory buzzer sounded. Kenny performed a shameless victory dance. Brad cursed his lost his long, mirrored Kenny's dance in the booth. Then he put her arm around Brad, not really sad by herself at all.
Pick up, Brad. There's always next year.
Brad didn't seem to hear her, lamenting. Kenny walked out of the arena. Sheldon remained tumbled to the floor, waiting for someone to come to repair him.
There goes my son, prize money,
muttered Brad, watching Kenny go. Jenny just turned to walk Brad out the booth. Explosions shouted from the audience bleachers. Jenny sprung into action, instantly the programming kicking in. A quick punch broke through a hole in the wall in Paulus' roof, allowing her to dive through into the audience below. Activating her fight chance mid-fall, seemingly converting her dive into a graceful swoop. Her sensors swept through the crowd, though anyone with eyes could have spotted the massive hole in the wall explosion created. As the smoke cleared, a couple of dozen small figures stepped through the opening into the stadium.
XJ9. The little figure crawled out. You are to accompany us back to Cluster Prime on order of Queen Fexus!
Jenny Scott. She should have known something like this might happen. Fexus had crashed last year's convention. Still, Falsey had some way to determine when or where they were scheduled to happen. Oh well, these cluster suits didn't look so tough. At least Fexus herself didn't show up this time. That would have been a threat.
And just what does Her Highness have in Minister for me this time?
Shouts Jenny, landing in front of the cluster soldiers with her hands on her hips. There are a handful of these little beetle-like drums and masks, prancing rifles like firearms, commanded by a humanoid robot to remind her of one-time foe, Smitus. Here pulled out an ornate scroll, declaring Kenny's son's Brutus had come of age. His successor requires a new queen to legitimate his role. SA9 had been his ideal mate, and so similarly proceeded directly to the flight suit to prepare for the wedding. Jane reeled.
So that's why Fexus had been trying to get her to join the cluster.
It seemed a big grin to be a replacement.
No way will I ever join the cluster!
Shouted Jane, partly out of reflex.
Very well then, seize her!
Shouted the cluster commander, the drones immediately rushing at Jenny. She easily dodged and blocked their attacks, though the pronouncement had shaken enough on her offensive. The commander looked on passively, gagging on the offensive to the troop. A few of the incendiaries leaped onto Jenny, clinging her arms and legs. Sheldon couldn't watch anymore. Having pulled his arms and legs to their proper places and picked himself off the ground, he knew Jenny was an experienced superhero and all. But he could stand there and let her get shot at, could he? So Shell kicked down the fence to combat area of Dory's bleachers, rushing towards Jenny and the cluster of robots. Jenny was fighting him off with little difficulty. Her strength was far superior with their blasters and had little effect against their armored skin. Distracted as she was with dealing with little bugs, Jenny was oblivious to the commander, pulling out a large cannon-like gun, levelling it straight at her.
Jenny, look out!
Sheldon yelled, preparing to dive push Jenny out of the way, or insert the blast or something. He would take what he could get. Suddenly Sheldon felt a pair of hands grab onto him from behind, yank him backwards.
Hey, what?
He swung roughly against the adjacent wall, still leaping on top of him, pulling out a section of bleachers, holding it in front of him. Sheldon just barely spot Jenny from the barrier. He called out at her as he was struck by a green bolt of air as he fired for the cluster's command cannon. Jenny froze, slumped to the ground.
cluster of drones he had been wrestling with jumped off her elite form, falling to the ground as paralyzed as he was. Cluster commander barked out orders to a new group of drones, arriving through the hole he had blasted in the wall, proceeded to collect Jenny's body and drag her outside. Sheldon threw his rescuer aside, chasing Jenny's kidnappers. He reached the hole just in time to see the cluster ship blasting off. As Sheldon lost his hands down from his wrists, extending his arms to clutch the ship's hull before it got away. Sheldon reached and missed. The cluster ship flew off the sky, leaving Silver Cell far behind. Sheldon sunk to the ground defeated.
Don't give up hope just yet,
Came a female voice from behind him, a slender hand touching his shoulder. Sheldon looked up, recognizing the female robot from the tournament Kenny pointed out. As he pulled the mask from her face, revealing a dainty mouth and chin.
My name is Nexus, and I can help.